Now see, if you just look at the picture, you can underestimate what's really going on here. Why am I here in this dimension? Why am I doing this? And for a moment, I said, well, God's just moving in an unusual way. Because he told me this morning, he said, get up and bake the cake. But see, God knew that he was going to have me in front of this camera talking to you. All right. So the message is, be mindful, be watchful, be careful how you perceive another person. I'm thinking of the little servant girl that was in the house of Naaman the leper. She went and told his wife, she said, oh, that my Lord would go down to the prophet. He could be healed. But you see, Naaman was a leper, good standing, had a servant girl in his house. And no doubt they passed her every day she served, but they didn't know that she was carrying their miracle. We never know who's carrying our miracle. So we have to be mindful in this hour. Even little children can be carrying our miracles in their mouth. And if we're not listening in, if we're not sensitive to the Holy Spirit, we can just miss it. And so anyway, she told Naaman's wife, and Naaman's wife told Naaman. And when you look and read that story, you'll see that Naaman ends up going down. He stands before the prophet in Israel. He tells him to go dunk 7 times in the Jordan River. First, he didn't want to go, what have you, but thank God he listened to that servant and got his miracle. So, why are we here today? Because I listened to a little young child at that time, about 13, and when I didn't know how to make a pound cake, and I came and stood in front of my grandson, he said, Grandma, let me make you a pound cake. And I'm thinking, what? Now his parents were not home, and I'm thinking, oh my. And then I said, this child is just going to be messing up his mom's and dad's food sources or what have you. But something said, yeah, okay. I'm telling you, that child, 13-year-old young man, put it together just like he was playing tennis or baseball or what have you. And he just, it wasn't no big deal, just put it together. And that was the best pound cake I've ever had in my life. I got the recipe, and I've never been able to make hardly a cake from scratch. And nevertheless, not even to mention a pound cake. But because God had me focus in on this young child, I was listening. I was yielded to what he wanted to do. He showed me what he could do. But not only that, there was an impartation there from this child that, voila, that's why you find you and I before this camera and this cake. And so when God wakes you up to do something that may not make sense, he said, the house is quiet. Get up and make the cake. And I'm making the cake because it's in the heart of God to speak to you today and said there are going to be miracles all around you in this season. But be careful how you look at certain things or certain people, because miracles come in many different forms and packages. Out of the mouth of a child sometimes, voila, comes a great miracle. And so God is going to be placing treasure all along the way. But we got to be focused. We cannot underestimate the power of who's carrying what in this season. God is going to put your miracle even in a television program. Of course, a television program to his choosing. It could be in a flower that's on the side of the road and you stop to stare at it for a while. Gotta unlock that thing. It's like flowing in this hour, but watching, being mindful, listening, because you're expecting God to speak at any time. And what God is going to put in your ear, it is going to transform your life. It is going to add to your household. It is going to strengthen you. It is certainly going to encourage you. It is going to add to your stature. It is going to cause you to be a blessing to so many more because you took the time to listen. You didn't despise the servant girl. You didn't look down on the children. You didn't think that this cup was something foolish. Now, oftentimes I use these cups for coffee. And somebody said, what is it about coffee? You keep saying these things about coffee. Well, I like the smell of the coffee more than I like the taste of the coffee. And I like the taste, you know. And but coffee has a special thing for me because it's the coffee that carries the memories. When I think of coffee and I'm drinking coffee, I think of my dad, I think of my mom, I think of laughter. It's in the coffee beans. And just think, had God not created coffee beans, I wouldn't have those memories because I see my dad grinning around the dining table and talking to us and telling us about things he used to do, and I hear mama laughing and have her input put in there. Something that may appear to be just something, but there's a story in that. Sometimes you see people doing something, it may appear to be foolish. Don't count them out. Oh my, you could get rich if you hang around them for a while. Just keep on hanging there. God got something for you. All right, well, let me go. Let me get this finished. There's much to do today. And I'm excited because surely this cake has to get out of this house. I got some friends that are going to partake of it. And they come in, I'm just cutting away. And so if you're over in the neighborhood, stop by. You're going to be speechless for a moment to think that a little child has bought me this for. All right, I'm out of here.